comment I get a lot is, well, that's not fair. You use deionized water. It's going to be better because you use deionized water, and 99% of the people watching aren't going to have deionized water. But I want to make a case for why, if you're serious about washing your car, maintaining your car, which is what this channel is all about, that you should invest in deionized water. And in fact, it's probably the first tool that I would invest in if you're going to. But in this video, what I'm going to show you, because I'm crazy and this is probably the stupidest video I've ever tried to do, is I'm actually going to show you the difference between washing your car with deionized water and not washing your car with deionized water. So I am intentionally going to put water spots on a car to show you what it's like when you don't wash your car, or really rinse your car with deionized water. But before we do that, I did want to show you a garden hose foam cannon with the super soaper. I'm gonna foam the car and let it dry because as long as you have the super soaper on the car, this is one really cool feature of the super soaper specifically, if you have soap on the car, you will not get water spots. So this is a hose hooked up directly to my city water. I'm not on a well. I live in, you know, a populated place. So I'm on city water, and I'm gonna foam the car with the soap. And the purpose of doing this is to show you that the foaming step of the car is not the problem. The problem is the rinsing step of the car. So even if you do have deionized water, the problem is not when you have soap on the car. Like I said, with the super soaper, direct sun, it's probably 90 degrees today, maybe even more. I'm gonna let this fully dry in the sun using city water, and we may see some streaks from the soap, but what we will not see is water spots. But I will show you what happens and how you get water spots, and that's when you do your final rinse. So I'm gonna let this dry on the car completely. Again, not using deionized water at all. I'll rinse it with non-deionized water, regular city water, and that's where our problem is. But I'm gonna rinse half of the car with city water, half of the car with deionized water, and show you guys the dramatic difference. And that's gonna probably plaster half this car with water spots, so then we will have to do a video on how to remove water spots. How about that? So look for that video in the future, but I'm gonna let this dry. So I've let it completely dry on the surface, and what you will see are streaks. But as I was explaining to Bryant before we started recording right here, is that these streaks will easily be rinsed away. So where the difference is, water spots don't rinse away easily. You'll know that if you park by a sprinkler and you take your car to the car wash, even the morning after, those water spots don't just rinse away. So the big difference, and just one thing I wanted to highlight about the soap, is as long as the super soaper is on the surface, even if it dries completely, you got to go change the baby diaper, you get a phone call, you're freaking out, your neighbor wants to talk to you and ask if his car's next, whatever. As long as the soap is on the car and you're using hose water or city water, well water, whatever, anything but deionized water, you are safe because this will rinse away. I'll show you that right now. The problem is right now, when you go to rinse the car, see, as you can see, the soap kind of building up, this is the streaking going away. The foam is being reactivated, and all that streaking is gonna go away. The problem is now, see how the foam's being reactivated on the windshield. So the soap actually acts like a barrier to prevent any of the water spots from happening. But now the problem is that I'm rinsing that barrier off, the soap barrier, rinsing it off, and I'm depositing, and this is where you get water spot deposits, is water spots come from what's left in the water. So what's in the water, the magnesium, all the junk, minerals, all the junk that's actually in the water is being left and deposited on the surface. So it has nothing to do with the quality of the soap that you're using, has nothing to do with anything other than it is the actual minerals, magnesium, everything else that's in our city water that's being left on the surface, and that those things in the water are actually attaching to your clear coat. Okay, so they're attaching to the clear coat and they're being left on the surface. And I will show you that because I'm gonna leave the water on the surface. So this side, I'm gonna rinse with city water. Okay, leave it all over. And on the other side, I'm gonna switch up my system. I'm gonna bust out the pressure washer because it's hooked up to my DI tanks. I'm gonna rinse the other side of the car with deionized water, and I'll show you how you get water spots on one side and not the other. If you're doing this and you're washing your car and you just rinsed it with city water, right now you gotta hustle. Get a big drying towel, get a Ryobi blower, get something. You gotta get this water off the car. So, but I'm gonna leave it. Again, probably one of the stupidest videos I've ever done, but I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna switch up my system, and I'm gonna hook up into the deionized water, and I'm gonna rinse the driver's side with deionized water. So I'm hooked up into my deionized water tank, so it's just hooked up to my pressure washer. So I'm gonna rinse the driver's side. And again, I'm just trying to make a case for deionized water. I think beyond everything, and I don't sell deionized water tanks, I don't have an affiliate code, I don't have anything, but I think my opinion is that deionized water makes everything in car detailing better. It makes your products work better, it makes your life so much easier. And so this side, I'm gonna rinse with the DI water. Really, the wind's gonna change on me now, huh? Going this way, Bryant. Because I really want to try to get a definitive line on the car. And if all goes well, like I'm hoping it is, but I've never actually tried to do this specifically, we should have the driver's side half of the car have no water spots at all, and the passenger side of the car is going to be plastered with water spots. Also, if you're trying to conserve, say you have like small deionized water tanks and you're just trying to conserve the resin, you're trying to conserve how much deionized water you use, you can, even if you have a pressure washer, what you can do is just save the deionized water for your final rinse. So again, like I showed with the soap, as long as the super soaper's on the car, you're gonna be covered against water spots. The streaking from the soap is going to come right off. That's not a big issue at all. So if you're trying to conserve your resin, your tanks, whatever, just use deionized water on the very last rinse, and then you don't need to use it for the initial rinse. In fact, if you know me, you don't pre-rinse your car at all. You go straight to foaming anyway. But just save it for the final rinse, like we just did, and you'll save a ton of water, deionized water at least, and so you should be good to go. So I'm gonna let this fully dry on the surface, and hopefully what we see is the passenger side be completely clean of any water spots, and we're gonna see a bunch of water spots. And we starting to already see them come through. So we're gonna have a bunch of water spots over here on this passenger side, on the windows, and all that. So I'll fully let it dry, and we'll see what's left. So as we kind of dry up, you could see on this side, especially on the windows, the molding as we come towards kind of the back glass, you could really see what is left. So with hard water, it's what I talked about is what's left on the surface from the water, not from the soap. And I think there's really good evidence, or a really good way to show it on this back half, especially the glass, where you could see on one side there's clearly those mineral deposits, the magnesium, all the other junk that's in the water that is filtered out when you use deionized water, and there's virtually no spots on the spot that we rinsed with deionized water. And luckily for Bryant, the water spots aren't too bad along this side of his car, but they actually are getting progressively worse And if you were to do this all the time, you would just have a ginormous nightmare because the water spots build up over time. So it's not like they don't get any worse than this. They will get worse and worse and worse and worse, especially on a dark color car or darker areas of your car. They will just get more white buildup. And it's really, really harmful for your clear coat because, again, it's deposits being left, and so they're attaching onto your clear coat, similar to like what a wax does of attaching to the clear coat. The mineral deposits are doing that, so you definitely don't want to leave this for long. But this does lead us to a good video coming after this one of if you are in this predicament where you have water spots, how do you actually remove them? So look for that video. But I just thought of something because it happened to me this morning. I saw a neighbor out rinsing his car off with the hose, and I thought a lot of people think they're doing like, you know, themselves a good deed by like just rinsing their car off and then driving away. But honestly, this is what you're left with if you do that. So I highly recommend don't rinse your car off. But again, you're watching a car detailing channel. We're in the weeds with detailing cars and cleaning cars and pressure washers and different chemicals and all that. And I really, truly believe that like the best tool that you can invest in first would be deionized water. Again, it's gonna make your life 100 times easier, especially in these hot summertime months, but even in the winter too, because in the winter, then you can just foam your car, rinse it, and dry it real quick and be done. It's actually a very, very fast and efficient way to take care of your car. And again, it'll just make your life way easier. So that is the difference between washing your car with deionized water and not deionized water. And look for that video on how to remove these water spots now that we've put them onto the car. I'm actually gonna let them bake in for a week, and then we're gonna remove them next week. So they won't be fresh water spots either. So with that, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'll link everything that I talked about in the description below, of course. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.